Welcome back to Ishwork Sports Podcast. Today we have Season 2, Episode 10 of the Getting to Know You series. And today we have a very special guest, Deon from Team Shakhtar. So let's bring him on.
What the?
Oh, well, let's fix this. There we go.
Right?
Much better.
Yeah.
Much better.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
How you doing?
Good, you?
Good. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. I've been waiting to get on ever since I seen Ian get on here, so I was like, yes.
Yeah, looking forward to this one.
Yeah. So first, I want to talk about your guys' loss last week.
I don't really want to talk about it, but no, L had a great strategy. But they played boxing one, so he just ran around and followed Kia. I got doubled every play. I think that we could have won it. We have to make our open jump shots. That was about it.
Yeah.
They're actually a really good team now, having the two bigs. David's the X factor. He's really, really good. He's really good.
Well, I will say you guys were missing one of your big guys, right?
Yeah.
It makes it tough. So Ismail wasn't
Ismail.
there, so it's a little bit harder to guard David and Sully if you guys are missing them.
Yeah, I just didn't want to use any excuses. Man, we lost.
So, like, how do you like so far, like, playing with Kia?
So funny story. I probably never even told him, right?
Yeah.
The first time I played with him was open runs at the same gym. He shot every single shot and we lost.
Yeah.
So when he first got drafted, and they was like, "Yeah, you're gonna be playing with like Kia." I'm like, it's like, how is that gonna work? But I feel like me and him complement one another so much because he's that scorer and I like to pass first and then score second. So I really love playing with him. Me and him have built a bond. After our first game, he had called me. We had an hour-long talk, and we had a great talk. Everything's been good since.
Do you think, like, you have, like, some, like, special connection with him? Or?
Oh, yeah. Like, he is go and get a bucket, and I'm run the team, strategy, and let's just go from there.
Yeah.
But I love playing with him.
Like, what do you think of your team, like, overall?
I actually love my team. When we're locked in, I feel like we're not beatable, like, at all. Like, even against his team. But there's games where we're not all fully locked in. But I feel like when we're all locked in and doing what we have to do, we're a really good team.
Yeah, I mean, I think we played you guys. I know the score got a little bit out of hand, but that was
like
a
the
very
last 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was very, very competitive. I think first half was very close, and then second half, like you guys have the weapons. Like it can turn around just like that. So you guys have a very, very tough team.
Yeah. Only thing I think that we did really wrong was the last 5 minutes when you guys went on all those fast breaks. I feel like we just gave up. They were running. We were watching them run, lay the ball in. I think Ghost probably had like 10 layups himself, just running down by himself, and nobody was getting back. But those are things that we learned.
Yeah. So, do you want to, like, kind of get into some of the games for next week?
Yeah, sure.
We can look at some of the,
I don't know a lot of teams, so nobody get mad at me.
So yeah, you guys are the first game, 9 o'clock game.
Against James' team, yeah.
Against James' team. So, like, what do you think?
I feel like that's winnable. We just have to lock in and know which key players to focus on. I don't want to give too much out because this podcast probably drops right before it, so I'm not gonna say much about that game. But I feel like it's winnable.
And especially because early in the season you played a first game, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't have. I don't think
They didn't
Cody
have
was there.
Cody. They didn't have Joe.
They didn't trade for Manveer and Victor. So I think that's gonna affect it a lot.
It makes the team different.
Yeah.
Cody's really, really good at scoring, and he is similar to me. He runs that team when it comes to their offense.
Yeah.
So it is going to be different. I feel like that we match up well with them, though. And Joe's a good shooter, too, so we got to watch out for Joe.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be. I think in the past couple of podcasts, I've picked you guys to win that game, primarily because of the size advantage. So unlike last week where you guys were a little bit undermanned, this week I feel like you guys have the size advantage where you guys can take advantage of them.
And then the second game is Yasin's team versus Anwar's team. Like, what do you guys think of that game?
The two brothers going at it, right? Wakas and Anwar.
Yeah, I think Yasin's team got that. I like the pickup that they got, even though like Sully's been playing a lot better since he left. But I like that they have more scoring because that's what they really needed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got your team.
I mean, I think I picked Al Khalil. I want them to really to get a win.
Yeah.
I don't like when Yasin wins, especially against us. So I think Anwar is gonna know how to stop Wakas, and I think they have. I think they're gonna come out with fire, right? Like they have that desire. Like they don't want to go on without a win this season. So I think they're gonna come out. They're gonna play very very strong. I think Yasin's team might be a little too soft this game because they're just coming off a win against us, so I think they might be a little bit overconfident. But I think Anwar and his guys, Andy, those guys are going to be ready to go.
Oh yeah, that's Andy's team, right? Yeah. Andy's a dog.
Yeah.
Andy's a dog. Andy had about like 20 something against us, I believe. Yeah, he's a dog. It's gonna be a really good game though, like a really good game. But I think Yassine's team takes that, not by a lot though. It's probably gonna be a very close game.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a very close game. But I think I'm gonna go. I think I said Anwar's team. I think. Yeah, because the same reason I think they're gonna be fired up because they don't want to go season without a win.
Yeah, they're not a bad team either. They just need to find something to make it click. I don't know what they necessarily need, but that team's not terrible.
They're very talented.
Like they're very talented.
Yeah. Third game is L's team versus Ion's team.
That's gonna be a good game, but Ion's team takes that one.
Yeah.
I believe that team wins that one.
I'm confident. Like I like Ayan's team a lot. I think they have a very full team in terms of like everything that you need, and their starting five, I think, in my opinion, is probably the best starting five in the league.
Yeah, ever since they added Chris, like when we went to go play them, and I'd never seen Chris before, and they're like, all he does is drive. That was bad info. Whoever gave me that info, that was terrible. Because Chris is their anchor. That's a person that he can get buckets in the paint. He can play defense. I think he shot a couple of threes against us too. Yeah. And his passing is underrated.
Yeah.
So I think that they win that one. It's going to be fun to see him versus Sully.
He's actually a very good shooter, by the way. So there was a couple of weeks ago, we were at the gym late night, like shooting around as a bunch of us. And I think he shot the best from, like we took, shots from three, like, 2 makes each or something like that, 3 makes each. And I think he only missed like 3 shots maybe.
That's crazy.
So, yeah.
No, but that team is like the best starting five. Like you said, I feel like that they have the best starting five.
For sure.
So then the last game is Osman's team versus your team.
Just us against Tejan and Yasin.
I just playing.
Team, yeah.
I just playing.
I think so.
Yeah, I got them.
Yeah, me too. I'm going.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna be an easy game. I think it's gonna be a tough game. I think they've learned how to play better and not just rely on Tejan. And I think Yasin is having a great season. He's picked up the scoring a lot. I think for a lot of the games that I was looking at the stats, like him and Tejan have very similar stats in terms of points. Mm-hmm. So they have 2 guys that can legitimately score every game. So it's not gonna be easy.
1 and 2, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think he had 23 against us. I wasn't there that game. I was like, what?
Yeah. And Yasin is entertaining to watch, right? Like he's just fun to watch.
He is.
So I know a couple of people have done this. So you can make your MB dream team.
All right. So I don't know everybody, but I can.
You want to do 6 or 8 players?
I'll do 8. So at the 1, I could put me in it, or does it have to be everybody?
Oh, you're gonna be included.
Yeah.
All right. So me at the 1. I would like. Ian at the 2. IJ at the 3. Sully at the 5. And for my 4, it might seem weird, but I like bigs, so I want my team to be big only because I'm 5'8", so I would put Chris at the 4.
That's
And your bench.
And then off the bench would be Kia.
That's right, Kia, you're a bench player.
I think he had me off the bench too on it. This might sound crazy, but he's one of my favorite players in the league. But Keem.
Okay.
And then I need like a physical player, so Idris.
Okay.
That would be like my if I had to make a team. And that's like going off of like draft and like thinking of everybody that would be on it. I feel like I would be able to draft those players.
See, if I was a guard like you, I would probably have the bench be all big guys, so I don't have to come out of the game. I would go like Andy and.
I already have to play 40 minutes a game, so I would like a little bit of rest sometimes and just let everybody else go and play and watch.
Well, you can always have IJ slide down and Kia be the two.
Yeah.
So you can get some rest that way, but yeah.
Yeah, but I would definitely like that squad. I feel like that's a pretty tall squad. Have a lot of defense on that team, and then it's gonna be hard trying to stop the. Our too big, so having like Sully and then Chris,
Yeah,
that would be good.
Yep.
Man, I almost slipped David in there, and then I thought about Chris, and I was like, man, I gotta take him over him.
Yeah, I mean, I love David. I think he's a great player.
Yeah.
But like Chris is just like one of those guys that even as a big man, he feels like he's a guard out there facilitating, right?
Yeah.
So that just makes it easier for Sully and everyone else to just you can dump the ball into him, and then you'll get the ball right back for open shots.
Yeah, I would run Chris on the free throw line, and then have Sully just run across the block, so just follow the ball.
Yep.
So you dump it down to Chris, he'll dump it down to Sully, easy layup.
Yep.
And then if like Sully gets doubled, just throw it to the corner, have a wide open three.
Yep.
So now you want to get into like some personal questions?
Yeah.
And like if you have any questions for us before we get in?
You can go first, and then I have my questions later.
So where are you from?
I'm from Bronx, New York, born and raised. Lived there all my life till 2018 when I graduated college. My mom and my sister moved out here, so I followed them out here.
What part of the Bronx?
Kingsbridge.
Okay. I went to Bronx High School of Science right by leaving college.
Really? I played them in high school.
Yeah.
I actually went there. My mom really wanted me to go there, but I was like, I don't want to go to that school with all the smart kids.
So I graduated from there. Yep, I went to that school.
That's crazy. Yeah. I played them every year, twice a year. They weren't too far from me, honestly. I played them all the time. Never knew that about you. I never knew
the 4 train up there to Bedford. Yeah. Yep.
That's crazy.
So how did you when did you get into basketball?
Like seriously, or just like I would always play it, but never really took it serious. Yeah. 7th grade, when I was thinking about which high school I was going to, my mom didn't want me to go to any terrible schools that had metal detectors, and being in the Bronx, like most of the schools are hood and they're not safe. So when I was trying to play football, because that was my first sport, she said no to every school that I picked. Yeah. Clinton, all those schools. Clinton.
I was literally right next to us. Yep.
Where else did I want to go? To Kennedy. Yep. She said no, and then I was just like, okay, I guess I'm gonna pick up the basketball and start taking it serious. And my school had a pretty decent team at the time, so I was like, let me just stick to basketball. Yeah. So I just threw football out the window, honestly.
Yeah, that's my other question. Like, in any other sports? Like
football. I played rugby in middle school for a little bit. Dangerous sport.
Yeah.
You ever play handball?
No, never played handball.
That was my sport.
That was my thing. Man, that's like a Bronx thing too. Though everybody plays it. No, I've never played handball, but rugby was one of my favorite sports for a while. I went to so many games, and after seeing a bunch of people bust their face up, I was like, I can't do it.
So like, how did you hear about this league?
Ian invited me to open runs with Ion, and me and Ion were going back and forth. And then after the game, Ion was like, do you want to take my number down and just play more basketball with us? So Ion was inviting me to every open run. We were playing basketball like 3 to 4 days a week. He had me driving out 30 minutes just to go play basketball, and I was going. And then Yassine came one day, and they were talking about this league, and they kept talking about it. Normally, I mind my business. Then they just kept talking about it. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? They was like, oh, yeah, it's a Muslim basketball league. I'm like, anybody can play? They was like, yeah, everybody plays in it. I'm like, how do I play? And he's like, I got to put you on a list. It's a long list, so you might not be able to play. So I was like, okay. One random day, I get a phone call from Monum. He's like, yeah, I just drafted you. I was looking at my phone. I'm like,
so they didn't even tell you were on the draft board?
I think he told me that I made the list, but I was thinking like nobody knows me, so I'm not gonna really get picked up or anything. And then I just get a phone call, and it's like, hey, what's up? This is Monum. You've been drafted 2nd round. I'm like, is this a joke? It's like, hello? And he's like, oh no, this is Muslim basketball. I was like, oh yeah, thank you, nice to meet you. But it felt like a real draft. Like I was like, I wish I would have went, but I think I was on a date that day, so I had to make sure somebody else was happy.
Yeah, I was wondering because like, so for me personally, like this is the second season we're doing the draft. I don't like drafting people that I've never met before.
Yeah.
Just because I know what I want. Like I know if I don't know you, I'm not sure how you're gonna fit on the team, right? And my thing is always like I want to make sure like the guys that I'm gonna draft and I'm gonna play with and be around other guys are gonna work well together.
Yeah.
So I never even considered having you. Like I heard a lot of really great things about you, but again, even like last year, like AW, like he was one of the guys I didn't pick him. I picked Drew instead first. I knew Drew, and I don't regret that pick at all. But it's one of those things. If I don't know someone, I don't feel like I want to draft them.
Yeah. Monum said the main reason he picked me up was because James.
Because James.
James was like, oh, he plays a lot of defense and he shoots threes. Haven't been shooting well this year, but yeah, I'll be back to it soon.
So like, how do you like the league so far? Like.
Oh, I love it.
With the chat and like the podcast. And
I love everything about the league. I didn't know about the chat until Ian texted me one day. He was like, "Did you see what they're talking about in the chat?" And I was like, "What chat?" He said, "Check your WhatsApp." So I checked it. Fahad. I'm like, who is this guy talking so much trash about everybody? But like, it's like a brotherhood. Like everybody talks about it. It's really a brotherhood. Like this is the only league that you'll be able to come and play, talk trash, and then go have lunch and dinner, and everybody's laughing and joking around. Like I've been invited to like a couple of places, and it's just like it's really like a brotherhood. Honestly, like it's a really good league. There's certain things I've tried to say that needs to be added or can be added that would be cool. Like I think like having coaches, cheerleaders would be amazing. Honestly, it might make me play a little bit better. I thought about like saying like having coaches and then having the like coaches draft and build their own team. Yeah. It might be weird in the first year, but that might be something. And then maybe taking a week off halfway through and then having like a all-star game, do like a 3-point shootout and then pick the 12 best players and then let them run a game. Yeah. And then make an incentive like, oh, the winners get like $20 each or something. Yeah. Lunch on.
We've talked about like an all-star game and like a skills competition and things like that, but I think we will get to that eventually. Mm-hmm. The issue I think usually ends up happening is like our season dates, the start and the end, are like almost tied, where we only have like a couple of days, like in the winter time, we only had a couple of extra weeks before like Ramadan started. Mm-hmm. So it's like those were really dedicated for in case the weather's really bad and we have to cancel like a weekend, right? Gotcha. In the summer also, like we started a little bit later, and then we're finishing up like I think right before like school, or like right as school opens up. But it's really the availability of the mosque and when we have gyms available. But I think I think with enough interest and like especially with the talent level that has gone up, mm-hmm. I think that's something that we're definitely gonna I think Yassine and these guys will definitely consider and try to plan something out.
Gotcha. Man, I have a nickname for him. Adam Silver. I call him Adam Silver all the time. Every single time.
He does look like him. So I want to shave his head and see if that.
So like I know earlier whenever we were like talking before, you mentioned how like Ian is like kind of your duo. Mm-hmm. So like how did you originally meet him? So
I met him. So like I told you earlier, I have open runs on Tuesdays that I was getting invited to, and I met Ian, but we actually played on opposite teams. And Ian will like tell you if you ever ask him, his number one goal against me, because he plays a lot of help defense, is to block my shot. Like he wants to pin my layup on the backboard. So every time that we played, I would always pass it at the last second. So wherever his like man was hiding, just throw it to him and it'd be a wide open shot. He'd be like, "Yo, I can never block your layup." And then we would always play against each other. And then one day, I think I was at Reggae Fest in Bethlehem, and I just hear somebody calling my name, like, Deon. And I don't really know anybody out here. I've only been out here for like 5 years. So all I do is work, and then I used to stream and everything. So I was just work home. And then he's like, Deon. He's like, Ian. I'm like, oh, yo, what's up? And then we hung out, and then we just connect ever since. And like when we get on the court, like we're like a 1-2 punch. Like Ian could bring the ball down, I could bring the ball down, and yeah, like we just always been like a duo since.
So if you guys play each other in the playoffs, you think he's gonna get his block or no?
No, never. I would never let Ian block me. Never.
So now you want to get to like other, like if you had any questions for me.
I do have a few questions. I'm kind of PR trained a little bit. Let me see where they at.
So where did you move out here from? You said you moved here like just a few years ago, right?
Oh yeah, so I moved out here in 2018. I graduated 2018 in May, so I was out here by June. My plans were to stay in New York.
Okay.
And then plans didn't work out, and then my mom had just had my sister.
Okay.
So I was like, let me just come out here and be like a father figure towards my sister, and just like try to help them out and everything. So I just ended up just staying out here for a little bit.
Nice. So your sister's like 6 now?
She is 7, about to be
wow.
8. Yeah.
Wow.
So we have a 20-year gap. So that's kind of like my sister child, honestly.
Yeah.
Like whatever she wants when I give to her. I was just with her earlier. She was crying, and I don't like crying. It just aggravates me a little bit. It's like, leave me alone. I have a podcast to go to later. Like.
And I know you mentioned because a couple of weeks ago, I think she came to a game, and we were talking last week, I think, and you said like that's the first time she's ever
get to
play
see me
basketball,
play.
right?
And it's crazy because like I've always wished that she's seen me when I was like playing basketball every day. Like I haven't been able to play every day, so her like watching me, she had her phone out and everything, but she didn't realize when I'm on the court, I don't really pay attention to anybody on the side. Like I might here and there, but I wasn't paying any mind to anything. But I think I had a pretty good game. I think I had like 24, but we lost. So I was
that was
just
a game against us, I think.
Yeah.
You know who does listen to a lot of people on the sidelines?
Who?
Mono.
Really?
If you go back and watch tape, people are yelling stuff out to him, and he'll stop playing, and we'll have conversations.
Really? I don't listen to anybody. Like,
and Chris does the same thing.
Like I might hear it,
Yeah.
and then I'll go, and then I'll talk about it later. But I don't really listen to the sideline. But my mom, my sister came, and then my girlfriend, and then my mom's friend. So they all got to watch me play. They were all talking about it for like 2 days straight. I was like, yeah, we lost, and they're like, no, because when you guys lost because of this and that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we lost, though. But I do have a question for both of you. If you had to take one skill using 5 different MB players, so one of their best skills to make one great player, what would be a skill from each player, and what player would you choose? And then the last thing would be height. So you get to pick a player that has height. So you do five skills and then a player with height. But
so 5 skills from 5 different players?
To mix into one player.
One skill from 5 different players.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go based off of shooting, finishing, dribbling, passing, and IQ. Those are the 5 skills. So you just take.
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
Yeah,
You just want to steal my answer, don't you?
No.
Shooting, I would take here. IQ. I don't want to say IJ because I want to pick something else for him.
That's exactly why I said one from each player.
Yeah, but I'll go IQ with IJ. What were the other?
It's finishing, dribbling, and passing.
Oh man. You know what? Forget that. Take IQ out from there. I would take IQ. I would pick you for IQ. Finishing, I would do IJ. Dribbling, I would do L. And what was the last one?
Passing,
I would do Chris.
and then which player for height?
I would have to go with
Make it reasonable though. Don't
Ian.
Ian? Okay.
And I'm not gonna go with Sully. Like I don't. You know what I mean? So yeah.
No, that's a good player. That's actually a really good player. That's like a perfect height, like for those.
Okay, so I would go. So it is shooting. I would go Cody.
That's a good one.
IQ. I would go IJ. Passing. I would go you. What are the other 2?
Dribbling and finishing.
Dribbling. It's like
Go little Yasin. I almost never seen him turn the ball up.
Yeah, he doesn't really get it stolen.
Because he's just there like.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, then I'll go little that scene for dribbling, and then what's it?
Finishing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
You want to go Osman finishing? Just kidding. My bad, Osman.
That's not right.
Finishing, I'll go Tejan.
Ooh, I didn't even think of Tejan.
Yeah, you didn't think of him at all. I wasn't gonna say that because I didn't want to throw out any answers.
Oh, I didn't even think of Tejan. Oh man.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then height, I'll go Kia.
That's good. That's a good height. Anything 6 feet or taller, man, is pretty good.
What about you?
Oh, you want? I didn't think I was gonna have to do it.
Yeah.
All right. So shooting would have to be Kia. I would say my passing. I think I'm pretty good at passing. IQ, IJ. Finishing, I'm gonna steal one. Tejan. And dribbling. You know who surprised me playing against him because I don't really know everybody. L.
Oh, yep.
I would definitely take L's dribbling, and then height. Let's go with Ian.
Nice.
Sorry, I forgot you.
Oh, she keeps doing that, man.
I have. Let's see. I wrote a few down. What do you want to be when you grow up?
So I'm not for sure. I don't know for sure, but something like being an NFL scouter. Yeah.
No, that's really good. So that would be in sports management. I actually majored in that.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself doing any type of media when you get to the high school and then the college level? Because I know certain schools will let their students be a part of the media crew, so you get to talk about the games while it's happening and everything.
Maybe, but we do me my siblings and I we do the online school, so then we don't really see the games and stuff from the school.
Gotcha.
So if there's any connection to our school, then I think it'd be really cool.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Who's your favorite parent?
It depends. It depends for what. It depends for what.
Hey, mommy's not here. You can be honest.
She is gonna watch it though.
No, she's not. She doesn't watch it.
No, it depends.
We'll skip over it.
What. If it's for to ask them for permission for stuff, I'd go. He just says yes to everything. But for just
Getting yelled at, mommy.
Yeah. No, but for anything I need advice or anything like that, anything else other than that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, those are the only.
Nice. That's some good questions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Man, I'm kind of PR trained a little bit.
So now we're gonna get to some of the rapid fire.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, ready? All right. I get the timer. You have 1 minute to answer all of these. Okay.
Okay.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Favorite NBA team.
Lakers.
Favorite NBA player.
LeBron.
Favorite MB team, not including yours.
Ion's team.
Monum or Kia?
Kia.
Would you rather play with a double rim or no net?
No net.
Favorite player in the league?
I have 3: Keem, Maz, and Ian.
Favorite drink?
Water.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Offense or defense?
Offense.
Most underrated player in the league?
Most underrated. I'm gonna just go Ian.
Leagues or tournaments?
I like tournaments.
Favorite food?
Tacos.
Hershey's or Works?
Works, of course. That's the only right answer.
So I don't have any chocolate made right now, but on Saturday I'm gonna get you whatever flavor.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah. So we gonna do predictions?
Well, I mean, we went over who we think,
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So we already went over that.
Yeah.
How about we do? We talk about who did you say your favorite player was?
Maz, Keem, and Ian.
Okay. Who would you?
But I feel like I'm more biased towards my third pick.
Yeah.
So if you guys just want to talk about the first two. Then
Well, I was gonna say what team would you want to play in the first round?
I don't really care which team we play. I like to battle, so I'm not gonna just pick a team just because I know that we're gonna win. I want to play anybody that's gonna make us play hard.
Yeah.
So I don't really care for which team that we play in the first round.
I'm gonna take a look at the standings. So if you guys win your next game, it'll also depend on the scores also. But right now, if you won and Rumla and Rafa both lost, which is my dad's team and Anam's team, they both lost. Then I think you guys would be in second, actually.
Wow, who has the point differential right now?
Ramla.
What's the point differential? What's the difference?
+8, and then theirs is +6.8.
Yeah, but if they lose and they win, that's probably gonna change, right?
Oh,
Because they'll
that's true.
have less. So
Yeah. Probably you guys have a chance
Chance
of
to
getting
get
a
to- yeah.
first seed.
yeah.
That would be cool getting the first seed. I actually want the first seed, so I'm rooting against you guys next.
I might.
Next game.
I mean, I don't think we're gonna lose this weekend, but I wouldn't mind the second seed so we can play Yasin and Wakas and knock them out. So. I talked to Wakas today at work. Like we were there, and I told him like we might lose on. I want to lose on purpose just to play them.
That would be crazy. Man, I did hear from somebody on your team that said that they don't mind being the second seed. So I'm not gonna say who because what he told me sounded kind of cocky.
So I know. So I think it comes out the same thing, right? At the end of the day, like obviously you're gonna have some preferences. Teams want to get to the finals, but the league is so competitive. It doesn't really matter who you play in the first round. You're still gonna have to play tough games.
Somebody. Yeah.
So I would rather just play. Like, have the confidence to just, we don't care who we play, we're just going to come play.
So my reasoning for not picking, like, a team that's worse is because, like, so when you play a bad team, then you play towards their competition. Yeah. So if we start off versus a good team, then we're bringing that energy towards the next game so we can play better. Yep. So just, like, playing somebody that's not as good as our next round might affect my team in general. So.
100%. That's been one of the weaknesses that I've had on my teams in the past.
Yeah.
Is we'll kind of play down toward the level of our competition at times, which I hate, but learn from
it. So is there anything like?
Would you like to get into my favorite players? Do you want me to explain why?
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we do that, what happened to your mug?
It's missing. Somebody came over and stole it. I don't know where it is. I'm gonna need to find it. So hopefully I'll have it by next podcast.
So I chose Keem and Maz because somebody told me their ages the other day, and I was surprised because I'm like, at that age, I don't think I had that much confidence as they do, and they play so like they basically play poised. Like their game is so like they're not rushing shots unless like there's times everybody rushes shots, but they play so poised. When we played Keem, he lit us up. He lit us up. Maz has the ability to score from outside. He finishes really well. Choosing between who's the best shooter, Keem, and the best finisher, Maz. Man, they both play similar, and they play they play 100% every single game that they play. Like even when there's nobody there on Ion's team, Maz is stepping up just to go get a bucket. Keem's team, I watched him last game. Somebody kept pushing him. And he went over a screen as he's getting pushed and said, "Stop pushing me," and threw up a shot, nothing but net. And I was just telling him last week, I'm like, "You're one of my favorite players." I don't like to pick the best player in the league as my favorite player. Like IJ's good, Tajon's good, and then I also chose Ian because he's underrated, and I've seen Ian at his best, and he's really really good. Like I feel like injury to his finger earlier in the year. I don't know if he ever spoke about it. His finger popped out of socket, and he stopped playing.
This season? This year?
Yeah, so earlier in the year, so maybe January,
okay.
His finger popped out, and he didn't play for like 2 months, maybe even 3. So when he's back to normal, I feel like he would be good. But he still plays good now, but I feel like he's more offense when he's at 100%.
Got it.
So mentally, I think the finger is still
bothering him.
Yeah, and then he plays a good point position now, so but that's why I chose those 3 people.
I have another question for you because we never really brought this up on the podcast before. So like I always like picking on El and Yasin, right? If you had because and I don't know if you were in the chat early in the season, but they were going at it like a few times.
I think I read it a little bit.
So if you had to pick between one of them to be your point guard, who would you pick?
El.
Yeah.
I know that was fast, but so I never really knew who El was until last game. Like I didn't really know anybody. No. Me and him were talking back and forth during the game, and then after we had like a little talk, and he was telling me like what their strategy was and picking his brain. He's a really smart player, and those are like my favorite type of players. the way that he's able to run his team. I know everybody makes fun of L for not scoring, but to have wins and him having less than 10 points is great. Like, stats don't really matter if your team's winning. And since he's made those, like, you got to think about it. His team went from losing, he made some trades. Now they're on a 3-win streak, I believe.
Yep, 3-win streak.
Yeah, so, like, just watching him play and then just, like, playing against him, we have similar games because there's a few times he ran me off a screen, hesitated just to see if, like, Sully was going to dive. And when I couldn't get back, little floater or like a little jump shot. So I would definitely pick L.
Okay, nice. I mean, to me, L was always like one of the top point guards in the league. Like, that's why I picked his dribbling, right? I've never really seen him getting the ball stolen unless he's going up against IJ.
Yeah.
But IJ does that to like everyone.
Everybody.
But I remember when we played them earlier this season, there was a point, and I love how L talks trash also, right? So there was a point, and we were up by a decent amount, so the game was pretty much kind of over. And L said something, I think, and then IJ said something to him, and I remember L saying, "Oh, so you're gonna coach me now? You couldn't coach me all game," right? And I'm just like, "Wow."
Yeah, L is really, really funny. Me and him was going back and forward. I shot a jump shot that like Sully had to like close out, and it looked good. Like, as soon as I let it go, I was like, "Hey, what's up, Sully?" As I shot it, and I missed. And all you hear is, "Hey, what's up, Sully? Hey, what's up, Sully?" And even like Sully was like, "Hey, what's up, Sully?" I was like, "Yeah, you guys got me. Let me just shut up. Let me just shut up now."
But it's cool though,
cool.
right?
Yeah,
Like even hearing a story like that, right? It's cool because like other places I've used to play before, right? Like obviously before I got married and stuff, like back home, in New York and stuff, like you say stuff like that, you can get into fights.
Yeah.
Right here, it's like,
but especially growing up in the Bronx, like you may never know, like trash talk might lead to somebody digging in their book bag or something. But I tend to hold back here because I'm still new. Yeah. But I do trash talk a lot. That's how I met me and him talking trash. I talked trash to IJ the first time I met him, and then we spoke after. But yeah.
Yeah, for me, if you don't talk trash, I'm not gonna have fun playing against you.
Yeah. So next season, definitely expect me to talk a little bit more than now.
Sounds good. All right. Anything else, Isha?
I don't have anything else that you wanna talk about?
Thank you for having me. I've been waiting.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
No problem.
Been long overdue.
Yeah. Thank you for coming. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's your work signing off.